was a creed written into the founding documents that declared the destiny of a nation. Yes, we can. It was whispered by slaves and abolitionists as they blazed a trail towards freedom through the darkest of nights. Yes, we can. It was sung by immigrants as they struck out from distant shores and pioneers who pushed westward against an unforgiving wilderness. Yes, we can.
I really enjoy most people in the world. I think most people have great attitudes, and everyone is kind. That's all that matters. Can we have a piece of peace?
Okay.
There's millions of people that are out there that are like that are white, that are black, that are Latin, and that are also Asian as well.
Well, I guess my main thoughts on the 2012 election is that I really think that Barack Obama needs to be given more time to execute his agenda from the 2008 election. So I'm really hoping that's going to happen this year.
There's a huge population of Asians that are out there that are dirt poor too. That come from Southeast Asia, and they have nothing. They have nothing, so they don't have the same level of access to that type of information.
Well, then shame on us as a society.
Yeah, exactly.
Shame on us for not allowing or going after those people and getting them the information.
Right. And that's what this project is about. That's what this is for. The audience for this isn't necessarily about a bunch of rich guys who are going to sit around and watch you talk about this. I don't care what a bunch of rich guys about what they say. I don't care what Bill O'Reilly says. I don't care what Jesse Jackson says. I care about that guy that lives in Mississippi or the hills of Tennessee or in some inner city somewhere, that is a good guy, that is a parent, who is married to his wife or partner, who is raising their kids under one roof, and they're busting their ass. And they just don't necessarily always have the access to that kind of information.
But what percentage of that has this ever been asked? What percentage choose not to?
I think, one, we have to deal with the question of monopoly capitalism. For all the people who didn't study Marxism in school and missed the 60s, one of the reasons why they didn't tell you about reading and studying Marxism, because Marxism does do a great analysis of capitalism, and they really want you to understand the system you live in, which has nothing to do with how to build socialism. It's a question of understanding capitalism. And so Marxism, I urge everybody to really read Marxism and begin to understand where we are.
Maybe just as an average American, I haven't noticed a difference between different administrations in my everyday life as a student so far. So.
And are you looking for something? What specifically are you looking for next term?
Maybe more. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Well, I sang in the choir for the service, and sang last year also, as well as I sang for Coretta Scott King's funeral last year too. And professionally in music, and just simply like to offer my gifts and talents. I've been in the ministry also, and as well as professionally in music, and this is a very special place. As a child, I remember looking at the black and white TV and seeing the assassinations of both John F. Kennedy and his brother Bobby and Martin Luther King Jr., and that's indelibly ingrained on my brain as a little child. So I guess through the years that someplace like this has been very special. So when I left graduate school in music and ministry, this is one of the first places I came to visit when I moved to Atlanta.
But one of the places where we are, we're in a state of capitalism called monopoly capitalism, which means that at this point, you have a handful of companies in each industry consolidating their hold. In terms of those industries, it's almost impossible for anybody to come through that. That's just one of the mature stages of capitalism. Now, an example of that, and it comes back down to the movies, is that, say like a kid today, if you have a child, we always tell black children to grow up, you can be whatever you want to be and think whatever you want to be. I always say temper that, because one of the things my father used to always say, most people can never figure out how far they can go or figure out how far they cannot go, because there is a limit on everything. So the trick is to know how far you can go, how far you cannot go.
I guess the first thing I want to ask you is, are you interested in telling us who exactly you voted for?
Kerry.
Now, you did vote for Kerry.
Oh, hell yeah.
Now, in a nutshell, exactly why did you vote for Kerry?
Because this Bush thing can't be allowed to go on 1 second longer.
Now, what about the Bush thing is disturbing you the most?
The fact that, I haven't worked since he's been in office. I think that's probably the major thing.
For Barack Obama, at least, I don't know if he directly concerns India, if it's going to help us directly, but if McCain would have come, I guess it would have helped India.
How?
Barack Obama, I don't think so. He's interested in the war or something like that. He's more towards the financial progress of the nation.
So we should select someone who is supporting war.
Not supporting war, actually. In fact, countering terrorism. That's it.
Okay. You don't think that he'll bring change in the counter-terrorism?
Yeah, even if he brings change, it'll only help America, not the world.
Not the world. It won't help India.
I don't think so.
No.
No.
You pull your head out of your ass. That's really the only way to do it. You have to. It's remembering again that the person sitting next to you is a human being. That they're not going to have the same thoughts and ideas and feelings as you because they're not you. They're going to have their own. And if you're free to have yours, they're free to have theirs. And until you start forcing your beliefs on other people, we're never going to get past this. Ever. It's this closed-minded, I'm so afraid of all the Mexicans coming, and I'm so afraid of the government's going to steal my job, and I accidentally bent over in front of this other guy in the gym, and I think he was looking at me. It's so stupid, so stupid. You really just have to pull your head out of your ass and realize that the world doesn't revolve around you. You are one person, they are one person, they're completely different, and just accept it and move the fuck on. Sorry.
So what about it? Well, I think it speaks for itself for the people who know that the Bush camp stole Florida with the help of his brother, and not only that, but a lot of votes were discounted. And I just want to remind people in a kind of a humorous way, because I think if you have a really angry sign, that's fine, but if you have a humorous sign, it kind of makes people chuckle and then realize, it's the sad truth is this isn't just propaganda. We all know what he did. Even the people in the Democratic Party know, and hopefully that will come back to haunt them and sting them.
Police brutality, it just comes out more and more in the news all the time of how brutal some police can be when people are taken into custody during riots, street riots. It seems that the way they are is kind of uncalled for, really. That's the perception that we get over in the UK on the news. Obviously, there's two sides to every story, but that's kind of what BBC and Sky News want us to see. So I'm assuming that's generally what the American people feel as well.
Once in a while, when something big happens, of course, it's on the news. But it just keeps going on and on and on. It's like this never ends. Somebody's whining about something. You know what I'm saying? And as far as Obama goes, I think that there's always going to be this fraction of the politicians that whatever Obama does, whatever he says, they're going to make it look bad. It's going to be, Obama messed up on this one. If he did the opposite, it'd still be the same thing.
Why do you think that's the case? Did you think that was the case with the previous administration, with the Bush administration?
I never paid any attention to stuff back then. It probably was the case. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it's always been the case. There's always been somebody that's against you. If you're a Republican, the Democrats are against them. So then you got to make them look bad. If you're a Democrat, the Republicans are against them. You got to make it look bad.
Is there a specific issue that's really pulling towards you in this 2012 election?
I think education is really my main issue here. Although both candidates do seem to support a similar agenda, I do think that Barack Obama's agenda has a little bit more to it. I'm also a little concerned about foreign policy as well. I think that Barack Obama's turn to Asia and the Pacific is more in line with where the country should go than continuing to fight wars in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yeah, the other thing about this war and all this stuff is, the whole thing is insane. It's just beyond the Twilight Zone, and I can't even believe it's happened. But, it's got to end. So, this has got, I don't know what, if something happens tonight and it's not rectified, like this guy's not ridden out of here on a rail, I don't know what's going to happen to people like me tonight. I think we're just going to, I don't know, because we don't have any plan.
It was sung by immigrants as they struck out for distant shores and pioneers who pushed westward against an unforgiving wilderness. Yes, we can. It was the call of workers who organized, women who reached for the ballot, a president who chose the moon as our new frontier, and a king who took us to the mountaintop and pointed the way to the promised land. Yes, we can to justice and equality.
I never dreamed that would ever happen. In fact, if somebody had told me it was going to happen, I wouldn't have believed it.